Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am your host, Army Piper. We got a lot of green today, but guys, look at PNUT up 239% on the daily. Last night, FD White was actually talking about this trade. Has been for a while. I think he was talking about it a little, almost a week ago. So in the last week, guys, just so you know, PNUT up 1,360%, getting a lot of green on there. Even on the hourly, guys, market opening up right now. We are getting the NASDAQ opening to the green side right now as we speak. The S&P is up, the Russell 2000 up. Everything is looking strong right now. And so, guys, let's just go ahead and start talking about the charts. But I do want to remind you guys, we do have this chart over here, and I want to let you know I was watching this. You guys remember me talking about this this beautiful spotter right here, the Piper Sniper? Guys, we've clicked on a double green now. Bitcoin is ready to send. Let's get it. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper, your host, and I'm here with my partner in crime, OC Guy. We're not going to waste a lot of time today. OC, go ahead and give a shout out to the people. I want to get into the CPI data that came out this morning because I want to look at the market charts. They're doing some moves right now, and it is looking juicy. So shout out to everyone in the chat. And OC, what do you got for these people today just coming in here watching? How you feeling about the markets right now? What is going on with you, man?
Oh man, thank you so much for the intro. I'm feeling great about the market. I mean, yesterday we were seeing a couple of things in here. In fact, I shared a couple of calls on Piper Academy. Most of them shorts, but I think that short is already over. We were talking about the 15 minutes charts and then a couple of other entries in the 4-hour time frame. At this point, we're back at the resistance at the top, and I do have it on my charts. After the fact, when we get to it, we're gonna be seeing that. But I'm pretty bullish, still not taking my eye off the possible bearish scenario. Still, I think we are leaving out the bearish scenario, but it's always important to plan for the worst case scenario. So I keep my defense up, but also my emotions up. I'm pretty happy with Bitcoin performance.
Top ain't wasting no time today. Attention. That's right. Fall in. Let's go. First command of the day, fall in. Let's go take a look at the news, guys, because man, actually, OC, let's jump over to the chart first, bro, because we just set a new all-time high, guys. Right now, as we're speaking, last night I was on, or yesterday afternoon, I was on the show with Crypto Blood, and we had a liquidity box that was sitting here, and it was a lot of red, way more red. It was like split in half, and like this was the bearish pressure, and that was the bullish pressure. This little area, it was insane. A little while ago, as we were getting ready to set the show to go live, the bulls it grew, it flipped, and it went the opposite direction, and the markets just started pumping like crazy, guys. I am currently sitting in a long trade right now that I got into this morning on that economic data, up 13%. It's up 13% right now. It's probably going to be 14 in just a second, but I did get into that trade this morning right there at this bottom that we had here. Kind of about the lower third of that candle. But guys, markets are really, really moving right now. I just wanted to show that chart because Bitcoin, guys, 105,000. That's where I think we are going to head in the near term. So I think a lot of people are going to try to short that $100,000 range, and I think some people might get the feelings hurt when they do. Shout out to Falco. If you know, you know. Dropping a Piper Academy membership. We appreciate you. And that went to Thomas Easy. So easy, Thomas. Easy to become a member right there for you. Let's go jump into that news and let's talk about that, because we need to get into what happened with this economic data. So let me go here. Let me get that. Let's truncate this over a little bit. And then, guys, to the news scene, to the newsroom. Let's go, Batman. Looking at the news here this morning, we do have a lot of green, as I said here. Looking at the market cap, let me give this a refresh because I guarantee you this is 3.1. Yep, 3.13 trillion dollars right now is the total market cap that we're seeing in the markets for all crypto. Jump over here, take a look. Let's give this a refresh. It looks like $571 million in liquidations in the past 24 hours. Biggest one was $11.87 million on Ethereum. So crypto bubbles, we already talked about that. Let's talk about this. So if you've recently bought a house, hint, hint, Lunar Beach is crypto, 30-year mortgage creeping up another 0.05%. But what really matters today, guys, it's going to be this stuff here. Let's just isolate 2 stars down, and we'll get into the core inflation. This is on the thumbnail. I put this and dropped it over into X also. Core inflation rate, guys, it was at 0.3%. The consensus and forecast, 0.3%, came in at 0.3%. Core inflation year over year was at 3.33. Consensus forecast 3.33. Came in 3.33. Inflation rate month over month was at 0.2%. Consensus forecast 0.2%. Came in at 0.2%. Inflation rate year over year was at 2.4%. Consensus and forecast was 2.6. We are seeing a return of inflation. Inflation is coming back. However, it was in the markets cooked in already because these are the numbers that they speculate on, and they got it at 2.6%. Username, shame on you for not being here on time. I started the show 1 minute early just for you, sir. I want to see you later on at the dean's office. Thank you very much for coming to the academy. I'm just joking. Well, I love you, man. Good to have you here. Let's go and take a look at what I have on X here. Fear and greed index, guys, sitting at 84. We are in extreme greed. It is continuing to tick up. Yesterday, it was at 80. Let's look here and see what the KBC letter says and how they're analyzing this data that just came out today. They said breaking October CPI rises to 2.6% in line with the expectations. Core CPI inflation was 3.3 in line with expectations. Both headline and core CPI inflation are now higher than what they were 2 months ago. 8% mortgages rates are on the way, and I do agree with that. They believe, the KBC letter does think that the 50 basis point rate cut will go down as another failure, just like inflation was transitory in 2021. The path to 2% seems to be fading. Now, I want to show you this because this is over here from Meet Kevin's data, and he's going off of Nikki T's summary consensus on what it would be for CPI. He says they seem to have a different stance on this, and they said that inflation is going to be coming in line with 2%. Look, when housing deflation hits, rents, which make up about 34% of CPI and 25% of PCE, these inflation rates will likely be well below 2% and encourage the Fed to drop rates substantially to actually prop inflation back up. So, guys, even the people that look at this stuff on a daily basis are having a hard time right now figuring out what this actually means. Because right now we are coming in higher on inflation, but overall, inflation is in line. There's that NASDAQ. It's actually looks like it pulled back 1/10% here, guys. Right now, S&P and the Dow currently are up. We're going to look at this. This is what indicators should you watch for the Trump-fueled bull market to be over. So when it gets to that bubble, what should we be watching? We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about this, the PCI, the Pi cycle indicator. This is how you identify if Bitcoin is getting near its top. So we'll look at all of that also. We're going to talk about the liquidity heat map. Did I get through everything in here? I think I did. Good Lord. Yeah, guys, I'm going to drop this in the Discord, by the way, for our all members, for everyone that's in our Discord, free side also. This is the breakdown of all of the consumer CPI that came in this month. But the one that I wanted to point out was housing, because housing is not really coming down. That's the one that's going to really move us down below that 2%. There's energy, all items, less food and energy, apparel, footwear, transportation, medical, recreational, other recreational, education, alcoholic beverages. Yeah, they got their own section in here. Love it. Shelter. Rent and shelter was still up 0.3% for the month. Rent of primary residence up 0.4%. So we are seeing that stay kind of high. When that starts to come in line with the rest of CPI, I do think that we're going to get down. I think that the Meet Kevin gang might be onto something there. Let's go ahead and jump back over to the Duo Cam, and let's go talk about some Bitcoin, because we are getting some price action, guys. OC, CPI, rent, it's all about that rent number, right? But right now, it seems Bitcoin don't give a single F. And it is pumping. I already showed what was going on my chart. I'm going to come back and do some more on it on the higher time frame and show where we're at on some of my bigger legacy movements. But I do want to point out here on the heat map before you get into yours, where we are looking at levels of liquidity above us so that you have those in mind for when we talk about it. DB Cooper asks, can housing costs come down without causing serious problems in the economy? Yes, it absolutely can. It's just a simple matter of buying slowing down because mortgage rates go up. So people slow down on buying homes, which means that the supply can catch up to that, which then should bring down prices a little bit. I'm not saying, remember, to come down to a 0.2% inflation doesn't mean that things have to reverse. We just have to slow down on growth. It's still going up 0.2 or 2%, I should say. It's still going up 2% annually. It's not reversing. It's still a growth. It's just a slower growth, and we can see that if the demand for housing slows down because the 10-year yield is driving up mortgage rates. So, absolutely great question, though, DB Cooper. I appreciate you, man. Let's jump over and take a look at the heat map, OC, and then get your chart ready. We're coming in hot with some liquidity zones for you. Let's go in here and take a look at what we're seeing on the heat map, guys. We cleaned out this level that we talked about yesterday, 90,500 cleaned out. We're on the 24. Let's go check out these higher time frames and see what we got. Cleaned it out on the 48. It's done. Finish. Get out of here. Shoo. Cleaned it out on the 3-day. Get out of here. Shoo. You're gone. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly has a little bit above us, guys. We got one all the way down at 75,000. If we go down there, sure, it's not a huge area when you look at how fast we pumped, but I don't think that's going to happen. If we do go down to that area, it would be because of this. If we do go down that area, it'd be because of this and this alone. Let's go right here to the BTC one. Guys, you see this right here, 77,340, 81,195. This is a CME gap. We could come down to this. Let's be fair. It's 90,000 right now. The top of this is 81,000. The bottom of this is 77,000. Could absolutely happen. But don't be surprised if we don't clean this out this cycle, this bull run. This is where we come back and clean out in the bear cycle. So I just wanted to point that out. Right now, though, guys, not a lot of liquidity sitting above us and way down below us for the other levels. I mean, we even go into like higher time frames and look here. Yeah, like 51, probably not ever going to get closed there on that liquidity sweep. So, I mean, if we keep this on the 3-day and just take a look at just the near-term picture, we have more heat above us than we do below us because we don't have anything below us until about 85,000. We could pull down and pull into some of that. That would clean out about another $100 million, but nothing on the liquidity map giving me, hey, we're definitely heading that direction. Oh, see, let's kick it over to your charts. Let's see what you're looking at on Bitcoin, man.
Absolutely. So yesterday, remember that we were talking about this area right here, the 36. Well, I was talking about the 50 actually, the 50% line in here. So slightly above this area. That's what I was expecting to have the flip of the ribbon. Seems like we did hit that one, and then right after the next candle, look at that, boom, big breakout. Also yesterday, I was talking about, and let's go to a cleaner chart. Here we go, about this area right here. Let me just minimize this one, make this one bigger. And I was telling you guys, well, remember that I want to see small candles or smaller candles. I don't think it was on this one. Let me see if I bring it up here. Let's just give it a little second for it to play it out. Well, whatever, still the same thing. So I remember that yesterday I was circling this area. Saying, I told you guys I want to see tiny candles. I want to see tiny candles. I want to see tiny candles. I want to see tiny candles, and I want to see tiny candles, right? So what we had yesterday night, tiny candles, and right now we have one of those green big candles. How does that translate to? Well, then let's just bring it up back to my charts and look at that. Let me just zoom also out a little bit. This was on daily, so let's go also to daily areas here. I was talking about the Wyckoff pattern, Wyckoff formation, right? So remember that I told you guys that usually the third one is a charm, and I was expecting at least 2 more movements, having a little bit of a range here and here before the next big movement here. Seems like that little range is already playing out, and we're just keeping out of it. I mean, it is even a little bit faster than the previous one. And man, I think we're just going to get there faster. Also, just keep an eye once again on the tiny candles on the daily. Remember, this is daily, so we can still have 1, 2, 3, or even 4 more candles, so till we start seeing that tiny candle right there, right? So maybe 1, 2, 3, or like that, and then the tiny candle for then the reversal. Just keep that in mind, because in a daily time frame, this will be big movements, right? That's why we're coming back to the 4 hour. Bear here with me. And there we go. We don't have now that upper movement, so we still need to wait for that upper movement right here as we keep climbing up and then reversing back down. I think we're gonna have something like this, and that is a common playground or a common pattern for a bullish playground, right? So as you can see, we kind of like start moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but we keep pushing forward. The momentum right now, it's pretty high, and I mean, that really gets me excited. But once again, big movements might come up with, or might come in with also big retracements, just like we had in here. Look at that candle, and also a almost complete, even farther retracement all the way back down here, right? So the next possible movement, expect something like that to happen. Remember, we are right now on the bull market. There's no question about it, and we've been talking about that breakout for a long time, right? Remember what we talked about this and the breakouts, and we measured this bottom part, right? And then we put it up there. Let's just wrap it up really quick for that measurement. So let's go to daily. Here we go. This was the bullish flag, and we are on track to, come on, there we go, to the breakout somewhere around 100K. So hopefully we keep pushing. This is not a confirmed target, right? In fact, I usually like to go a little bit lower here from the base, from the last one, and that will be getting us somewhere around where we are right now. But with what we have seen so far, I think we are going to get to 100,000 again. Move it or do it within the smaller time frame, so you can act or react faster, and you don't get trapped in any long position that then retraces. Always use a stop loss. Turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking at a couple things here. I want to do one thing real fast. Let me go in here. I want to save this. I want to save these fibs that I have on here. If you guys go down to template, you can save these. I'm going to save as, and this is going to be called my trend fib detailed. Okay. And this is going to, the reason I'm doing this, because I repeated the 1.5, the 1.382, so on and so forth for the next cycle up on here. And I want to put that on MicroStrategies. Let's jump over to MicroStrategies and take a look at that. And then I want these to be on my detailed. There we go. So now I have all of my fibs that were on here, because if you guys remember correctly, we were talking about this golden pocket level here, and then we got the bounce into 1.382, came back up. We're continuing on. This was the phase cycle. We were on the phase 1 golden pocket. We are now going into the phase 2, here of the platinum pocket. And guys, if we break that, we're looking again up here at like $500 MicroStrategies. This thing just keeps crushing it, up 6% on the daily. Of course, MicroStrategies X, which I talk about all the time, it's the 2X leverage long on MicroStrategies. It's up a whopping 10.5% today. Just absolutely crushing it. Let's go take a look at this over here. Let's talk about the Wallen chart. Shout out to Eric Wallen. Eric Wallen, I love when you're able to join us in the morning. We miss you in the community, man, and I hope that your job change is going well for you, bro. Looking at the Wallen chart here, this is my beautiful fib channel. Guys, we're watching this level here. I'm watching right now the golden pocket, the diagonal golden pocket in this channel is currently coming in right now. Turn off the magnet, this will help. Currently coming in right now at about $101,500, okay? That's the current level on this weekly candle. The longer we go, obviously it goes up. Next week, it's going to be 103. The week after that, it's going to be 105,000. Keep in mind that 105,000 is where we were talking about MEM Magic Internet Money, he was talking about, look, when you look at these trend-based fib extensions, and this trend-based fib extension, guys, just so you know, I'm sure all of you do in here, I just have to restate it because I don't know when we have new people watching. They're pulled from the bear market low to the 2021 high to the bear market low of 2022, okay? And he said when you have movements that big, that large of a jump from bottom to the top, you have to put this on algorithmic. And if we put this on algorithmic, it was not the platinum pocket where we got our rejection like on the regular. See there, it's right there. But when we put it on logarithmic, it was actually the 50%, which I always talk about, breaking down a rejection off of the 50 from the bottom side. Very bearish thing to do. Looking at this on the logarithmic and looking at where the golden pocket is, which is where Mem says we should top out this cycle, that's about 120,000, 105,000. So looking at that level there, about 3 weeks from now, guys, that would put us right in the 105,000. Top side of this would be about 130,000. So I do think that the golden pocket here is going to align with the golden pocket that we're seeing on the logarithmic levels, the trend-based fib extensions on my primary chart. So that's one thing I wanted to point out there. Now, this one here, this is something that I just set here. I just set a brand new alert here. The mayor take profit alert. Okay. And I will be letting the members know in our Discord over there when this triggers. But what this is, guys, you can see down here on the bottom side, this is the mayor oscillator. It's the multiples. It's the Buffett secret is what they call it. And you can see here in the previous cycles when we had the take profit start to fire off here, started to fire off here. Back in the previous cycle, these run in multiples of 3. So if I go down here and I put this onto the first one, we're going to put this on 9, okay? We're going to go with 9 here. You'll see there's the top. The next cycle, we start to get that, go to 6. Nope, sorry. Yeah, go to 6 right there. There's the first top. There's one red line right there and called the top. Yeah, we did come back and set one a few $1,000s higher, but would you be complaining? No, I would not either. Put this on 3 and you can see that we catch the next top, okay? And then if you look at now, we put this at 3 right now, we would be sitting there about we would be getting into the golden pocket pretty cleanly, in my opinion. If we put this on like a 1.5, though, you'll see we did actually fire this off already. So I don't want to go too far into that. Let's just do a 2, see how that looks. Yeah, 2 would have gave us take profit here. And currently right now we're getting some take profit indication on here on the newest timeline. But if we put this and leave it on 3, sir, go back. Thank you. If we put this on 3 right now, this is what I'm going to be watching for, is for this to come up down here and hit that 3 level. I have an alert. You can see the white arrow right there. That is the alert that I have set for it. And that is going to be my indication that, hey, it might be time to start taking some profits here on the market stuff. So that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. OC, I'm going to pass it over to you, and let's go take a look at what you're seeing on some altcoins, because if we're getting this moving on Bitcoin right now, I know we're getting a slight little we had a slight little pullback. Now we're heading up to 92,000. If you want to talk about how these alts are playing on this, that would be awesome. And shout out to Alex O Crypto in the house. We love you, man. Glad to see you here. Love it when he's here with us. All right, OC, what you got for us, man?
Absolutely. So let's take a look at a couple of things that I was looking yesterday. This is ALC. I was giving a call right here on the 15 minutes. It played out like instantly. In fact, I was not even able to grab this this long. I was waiting for that market open, and then boom, played out and then dump NOS. So we already have some in the 4 hours, some sweep of the lows. At this point, we're going for that retracement, almost a full back and forth retracement. I might be waiting to get some tiny candles right here before I consider jumping back on into ALC. Let's also take a look at, what was it? I think EOS. So EOS, we've been waiting forever on EOS, but still played out almost exactly as we were expecting. Yesterday, I was drawing this image in here where we could be going for a fake out retracement right here. And then, well, went just ever so slightly right before. And right now, I'm expecting a breakout. Why? Because we already have a double bottom formation here. We technically did not lose the previous low in here. And then, well, then this is looking juicy. So keep your eyes on EOS. Once again, guys, this kind of coins are a little bit, these are legacy coins. Do not expect just to become rich from the from one day to another. Still, I think legacy coins at this point are moving fast and strong, and also some couple of new coins. I mean, not talking about meme coins, but man, Dogecoin has also been playing out very, very, very nicely. BONK just ripping. We're expecting this retracement. So, guys, as I said with Bitcoin, big movements also come with retracements, and that's what I take advantage to. Yes, trade against the trend, all right, but in a lower time frame. So I'm breaking the actual trend. Let me explain that, and then just maximize my profits. My 4-hour time frame, it is my most profitable trend line, right? So on the 4-hour time frame, we have not lost a trend, right? We keep pushing and pushing hard, right? Nevertheless, if I see a big body candle like this one, I am expecting a retracement within maybe the same candle. So I go into lower time frames. I drew my trend line. Look at this trend line in here, right? And then I make my measurements. Secondary measurement, a fake out. First measurement, a breakout retest. We did have that breakout, and then I aim for the empty space that I got. Look at that. We enter on bonking here and played out very, very nicely. Took my profits, let it out, and then right now I'm looking for a possible next entry. I did not trade this because I was asleep. This played out throughout the night on my time zone. So, well then, at this one, I'm looking forward to a break previous highs and then re-enter as we come back down, retrace, make a higher low, and then move forward. This is going to be my next entry as I have flip of the ribbon here and, of course, flip of the ribbon there. So that's what I'm looking at, those three altcoins, Piper. I think they're played out very, very nicely. If you're not on our Discord, please join because you guys are going to be missing out. I'm not the only one giving those calls. FD White's there. Piper is there. Lunar Beaches Crypto is there. Man, yep. Everybody is there. Mr. Man is also there. So
we got Buck and crypto trades in there, mentoring and coaching. So yeah, we definitely got the crew in there. Just so you know, we had a question here from Alex O. He said, when should I take profits on my long of Ethereum? I got in at $2,410. I'm gonna address that in a second, but I know you know the answer, Alex. Don't be playing games with me. And then shout out to Bedredden, my dear friend over there on the other side of the planet. What's up, my brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you in the chat. Let's jump over and I'll tell you where and why I don't think you should be taking profits. Why I wouldn't take profits. How about that? I would not take profits yet on that Ethereum unless you need to do it for tax purposes. But let's show you why. We're just going to do it real simple, guys. Look at Bitcoin dominance. Look at that V-shaped recovery on Bitcoin dominance. And someone asked about this yesterday, about it coming down. And look, we almost got a perfect wick bounce right there on the dynamic reactor. Coming back up, we are in an area of resistance right now in Bitcoin dominance, guys. But as long as Bitcoin dominance continues to climb, currently at 60%, hit all the way up to 60.9%, almost 61%. Guys, I still think we're going to see 70%. I think we're going to make it all the way up, at least to the trend line, which is 63%. We could hit 70% on Bitcoin dominance. As long as Bitcoin dominance is continuing to go up, markets should all move up. Why would I not sell out of my long trade right now, Alex O? It's because of this. If it is taxes. Okay, if it's for tax purposes, you do what you got to do. But if you look at this from the perspective of the alt season, what happens when Bitcoin dominance finally starts to settle its ass down? What happens then? Then you get altcoin season, and then ETH really moves. So as far as looking at this from a perspective of maximizing gains, I would be waiting for that Bitcoin dominance to max out. If you're doing it for tax purposes, then no one's ever gone broke taking profit. One, hear that all the time here at the Academy. And two, taxes, they kind of trump everything when it comes to due for taxes, right? So you got to have the money to pay that, especially if you made money. So yeah, if you got to do it for taxes, man, you do what you got to do, bro. That's what I got for you there. OC, we're seeing this Bitcoin dominance just absolutely crushing it right now. At the same time, though, check this out. Look what else is pumping right now, guys. The US dollar absolutely rocking off here and continuing up. It's up to 106.26 right now. So we're getting that in that correlation of movement with the Dixie strengthening when Bitcoin strengthens. Let's talk about why that is, because in a second I'm going to ask you a question about the peso versus the US dollar. And this is what's actually happening in a lot of the currencies. Let me just scroll down here and take a look at my little section that I have of Forex while we're talking about this. I just want to find it so I make sure I get the correct data, sir. But the US dollar is strong as hell right now, guys, and it just keeps crushing a lot of these other ones, other currencies out there. If we look at like this versus, where is it? Let me find it. I got it in my charts here. I'll just do it this way. Maybe you can pull it up easier, OC, but I know that the USD versus Euro, there we go. DXY USD. There we go. Okay, there. I found it. Sir. So looking at the euro right now, that versus the US dollar, it's weakening. It's badly weakening. The US dollar being this strong, while the markets are moving, this is strengthen the US dollar, strengthen the global reserve of the US dollar, which is global liquidity. Global liquidity equates to money into markets, and we're seeing that, and we're getting data. Yeah, it is a little bit higher, but like I said earlier, the CPI, this inflation data, if it starts to get little things like rents coming down, stuff like that, we will see a continuation of that US dollar strength, which will mean people want to move that liquidity into something that's going to maximize their returns. And that would be the marketplace, right? That would be the stock market. That would be crypto. That would be those assets. But the US dollar being super strong right now, it's okay to see a correlation. They don't need to be inverse. I actually had this conversation with someone in the chat not long ago, and they were talking about, yeah, but the Dixie's pumping, so this has to come down. No, it's not always an inverse correlation. OC, how is the Mexican peso holding up right now in comparison to the US dollar? Do you have a chart up for that, or do you just want to talk about it?
Yes, I can. Yes, so let's go to start figuring that out. That's what I put it up here in the 15 minutes. Let's go to the daily, because it's going to be reflecting a little bit more. Remember, this is Forex, right? So looking this kind of movements in Forex, that is concerning. I mean, we usually want to see flattish, something like that, slightly tilted up or slightly tilted down. But man, look at this. And we were talking about this on a couple of classes before, right? So, I mean, right here in Mexico, we have 13% annualized annualized returns from savings, right? I mean, that sounds amazing. But when you start seeing that, and by the way, guys, this is US dollar versus Mexican peso. When you get the US dollar first, moving up is not good for the second asset. All right. If we had an inverted, well, then moving up will be a good thing for the Mexican peso. But in this case, it is not. Why? Because at this point, we are looking at, let me just remove everything so we can have a cleaner view here. There we go. We have a 20 Mexican pesos, 20.5 Mexican pesos per dollar. And this keeps pushing hard. Look at that, right? And I mean, we are not even losing that momentum. We can pushing forward. I mean, yes, we do have normal up and downs. We can see that on the oscillator, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, but not falling out of that channel. And even if we do, we still have dynamic reactor, volume flex reactor, and all of the reactors coming into one single area right here to give that support. Guys, this also has to do with what's happening in Mexico. Just so you know, right now politics is a joke in Mexico. So just read about Supreme Court elections. Now they're gonna be elected Supreme Courts. It's not gonna be the smarter one looking for our rights. It's gonna be whoever the power puts on there, and then you will have to elect on them. So added to the very strong dollar, which right now I think has to do a lot with the elections and who won and how everything, all of the pieces suddenly they're falling into peace treaties, right? And then everybody wants to play golf. So man, I think yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe
I think
golf
the
will be the
Dixie.
next
I think
American sport.
I definitely think we're going to see a little bit of correlation of the Dixie moving up over the next few months as we head into Trump taking his seat at the White House and what's going on in the markets. I just don't think it's going to be an inverse correlation right now. Shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto. He said party time. Username actually dropped first. He said just saw 4 new coins on Robinhood. OC, let's go take a look at these coins. I'm going to take a look at PEPE, but we need XRP, Solana, and ADA. Guys, XRP, Solana, and Cardano, ADA, PEPE, all 4 just added to Robinhood. So, typically when you hit those exchanges that a lot of retail have access to, that tends to give a nice movement. I'm going to jump over and look at PEPE first, and we'll come back and OC, which one are you going to do? XRP, Solana, or ADA first?
Let's do XRP.
Okay, and then I'll do Solana, and then you can come back and do ADA. How about that? Let's jump over and take a look at PEPE, though, guys. PEPE getting a massive run this morning on the 1-hour candle here, getting this news of it being listed on Robinhood, pumping like crazy. I want to show you, though, we front ran a rejection on my 1.618 almost perfectly there. Now we're getting a little pullback. I think we're going to flag here. That's okay. Let's flag and then continue back up. PEPE's looking very, very strong right now on this news that just came out. And then yeah, guys, it's when you get these prints onto new exchanges, we tend to see market movements and then little pullbacks. But Robinhood, that's where a lot of retail get their stuff, guys, because they're not getting it on decentralized exchanges. They don't really understand Coinbase. They're in a lot of retail that are not experienced in crypto. Coinbase to them is FTX, right? It's another exchange. But Robinhood, they have a little more trust for it, despite it, freezing GameStop way back in the day. A lot of retail, that's where they get their crypto. I know a lot of guys in the military that they play a lot of stock buys. They're investing there, so they have to add to their retirement. And Robinhood is where they have gotten their first exposure to crypto. So this is a pretty big announcement for PEPE, Solana, XRP, and Cardano, on top of news that's already out on Cardano. So yeah, let's take a look at what OC's seeing here. What do you got for us on your charts there, bro?
Absolutely. Well, we were talking about a trade on XRP on the on chart primes classes, and I was discussing that with Alex at Crypto. So I just called him out here. Alex, did you took it? I told you. Gary himself called me and told me that we're gonna have a big movement here. Now, just kidding. That is just a little joke. So, but we're measuring this possible target. We took it in here, and then I called 50% out right here, almost then another 25% as we were retracing. So 8%, then a total of, I start taking profits here, a total of 14%. I was taking somewhere around, because I was measuring this breakout on the flag, I was using somewhere around 10x. So that was something around 130, because that was not my exact entry, so something like 130% in. But look at that, man, it's being crazy. That was almost a 39% move, or slightly below if we take a look at where we start pivoting all the way down here, or when we start breaking through the dynamic reactor breakout retest. Here we go. That is at 39.93, so 40% move till now. Once again, as we've been talking about, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. And also right now, big movers have big retracements. So you also had a little bit of that retracement there, an opportunity to come back in here. Let me just clear this up. Let's remove everything, and let's talk about if you want to jump back in, right? At this point, I would say this is not the time. Although if you want to start just jumping in for the movement because of fundamentals, your entry was right down here. or as we have flip of the ribbon. Look at how many divergences we have had, right? But those divergences already have been canceled out with this retracement. So I would be just looking for that flip of the ribbon just to prevent maybe breaking down a flag that we're making here and then creating a lower high. Once again, I want to jump at the flip of the ribbon at support. So right around this area, as I'm confirming a bullish pennant right there. I think this is going to be huge for those coins. And as you mentioned, many mainstream guys take their coins or do it on Robinhood. Although I do have something against Robinhood, and that has to do with previous cycle when they cut out, the longing of some assets just to help their other partners. I mean, for me, that is unforgivable for the public, for the clients, and for whoever trades on it. But still, many people like that way, and I don't know what I see on it. Maybe it's just something like old habits, but this is big news. This is such a great news. So turning it back to you, Piper.
Yeah, they're talking about in the chat about them listing that 4 of those assets, and 3 of them are still in fighting lawsuits. And yeah, I think they do probably know something. I think that they're in their mind, they're thinking, let's make this money now on these assets, because Gary Gensler's days are probably numbered at this point. I would not be surprised to see Gary Gensler fired on day one, right along with the order to start mass deportation. So it'll be interesting to see. Let's jump over here and take a look at Solana, guys. I'm seeing some movements on Solana off of this news, and we are there are some key levels I want to point out. One, we had this level right here at $225.99, 226, we'll call it. It was where we had gapped out here on the fixed range volume profile from a previous one. There was another node there. We did get a rejection front ran just off of that, came down. I'm looking at 4-hour right now. Okay, we came down, got a little bounce here. Now we're coming back up. I want to show you some stuff that we're going to go all the way down to the 15-minute on this, because I'm seeing some stuff. One, we did kick a sell, a bearish pattern here on the 3D trend, and we're in that cloud right now. Looks like we're going to try to fight back up into it, but watch right here, guys. 223 to 226. We do have right now a bearish liquidity. You can see it's almost 100% bear sell-off liquidity there. No bullish info. So if we do get up there, there might be another rejection to come down. Watch for us to hold in this cloud, maybe flip it back to green as it comes back in like this. We'll get another green cloud, and then the move up. I think we have some time on this, but if it does come down and rejects down, guys, look at this one right here. 90.3% of all of the liquidity down here is bullish liquidity. We do have a small bear one right here, but this one, massive bullish liquidity. This is sitting at about $200 to $199. We'll call it 200, or we'll round it off, make it easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And that would be, if it does pull back, where I would look for a nice, big, strong bounce to the upside. Looking at this on the 15-minute, here's why I'm thinking that we could see that downside move. One, right now, we are rejecting, as soon as it loads, you'll see it here. There is a quantum reactor on the 15-minute. We're trying to get above it, but it did turn red here, guys. And so that red gives confirmation. You can see here, once we started to go below it, this haul was uncertain. It was grayed out on the quantum reactor. It went red. Now we need to turn this back green. Now, if this flips green on the 15-minute, it's on like Donkey Kong. Let's get it, pump it up, just like that prophecy calls out there. But yeah, that level I'm watching for here, you guys can see all the bullish liquidity sitting down below us at about $200. That is what I'm seeing on the 15-minute. Let's go back to the 4-hour just to get back into perspective of what's going on here. I think that we might see this breakout on Solana here soon, and may not actually get that downside movement, because what I'm seeing right now on the oscillator on the 4-hour is we are getting a flip of the oscillator ribbon. True 7 is almost all the way down. We are losing volume here, but that can change out quite quickly and move to the upside, because money flow is still green and pointing upwards. So that way, pointing that way. No, that way, pointing that way upwards. It's still going upwards. So, guys, looking at Solana right now, watch again, $225 range. OC, let's kick it back to you. Let's knock out ADA, and we'll see where we are on time. Guys, let us know in the chat, 1 or 2 more assets, whether it be a stock or a crypto. Let us know, and we'll try to get those in for you. OC, what do you see on Cardano, bro?
Absolutely. Look at that, my friend. This is a daily chart. Look at that God candle right there. Two God candles in here. That is pretty nice. Let me zoom in just so we can see it. We're not going to be making a prediction. Yes, we're not going to be making a prediction nor analysis on daily. I'm just going to throw this out here that very quick. Just grabbing the whole range right down here and just showing you that we're at the top range, right? Can we pierce through it? Yes, absolutely. We need to be careful also again. Yes, absolutely, right? So other than that, let's just get rid of this and let's go to the 4 hours where we could maybe do a little bit more of an analysis here. Remember that we were looking at ADA for a couple of entries and we were measuring these two areas of entries. Why? Because we have important not only order blocks, but also support and resistance. Let me see if I still have them. Well, not anymore because we already have moved through it. But as you can see, we still have a couple of things that here playing out in those two areas, right? It's time for me just to get rid of them. We took advantage of these entries. In fact, we teeted here after we broke up and after we touched this up and then come back for some liquidity. So you guys should be following on ADA. Let me also remove this out of the way. Perfect. And we have right now what seems to be like any other asset, a possible bullish pennant in here, right? We also need to draw this trend on here because we have a possible also double top that might be already playing out and bouncing back up, all right? So other than that, guys, I mean, a possible continuation is still could be possible here, especially because we have a possible reversal. And guess what we got there? Well, it's not for sure yet because this candle has not yet closed. If we are able to close this one and this one in the green right down here, and I mean, I think we could be confirming flip of the ribbon at breakout points. Well, then, and also then piercing through. That will be for me a breakout entry, right? Remember that when I'm doing breakout entries, let me set you up with my next entry here. If it's a breakout entry, it's going to be a breakout right here and setting my stop loss at the center of this bull flag. Where is the center? Right here. So I need to measure something around those areas. So yes, it's a little bit of a hard push and I'm expecting to go all the way up here. So maybe this is not going to be a full entry. Why? Because this is below one. So what do? I set up half of an entry here, right? And then breakout retest, another retest, I'll set up another half of an entry. That way I can average down a little bit lower. And there you go, just like magic, having a 1.35 if I can grab this secondary entry, right? So that's going to be my plan for ADA. In fact, I'm going to set an alert right up here. And also I'm going to set an alert right at my zero line in here for that flip of the ribbon. So there you got it, guys. ADA, I mean, it did burst. So turning it back to you, Piper.
We had a request for Jesse wants DEGEN. I guess that's the token. He didn't capitalize it. I think he's talking about a crypto. So can you pull up DEGEN, DEGEN? And then I'm going to take a look at PNUT, guys, because as we talked about on PNUT at the beginning of the show, absolutely crushing it. Let's take a look here, just see what it's doing right now. PNUT up 9.2% on the hour, on the daily up 263%, on the weekly up 1,507%. This is one of those tokens that FD White had been talking about over on the Crypto Nightcap. Matter of fact, last night he talked about it, and then I just showed you. There's the daily on that, 263%. Let's go take a look at the PNUT chart. I did pull a trend base because it is in price discovery. It's a fairly new token here. So what I did is I pulled from these three white circles, low to high to low, which is a higher low right there, and got a trend-based fib. I want to show you what happened here on price sequencing. You can see right there on that 50% line of the initial fibs, we did get a lot of rejection there. When we broke it, it took off. Look, we break above the golden pocket. It comes back. It tests it. Sequencing's looking good. We come straight in here, and I want to show you what happened here. We got a rejection on the platinum pocket. We break out of that entire phase one cycle. We come back for a perfect retest on the golden pocket. So these numbers still looking good. Rejection on the phase two golden pocket. We break through that. We go all the way through the phase 3. We almost come back for a beautiful retest on that. Lots of rejection on the phase 4 golden pocket there. Comes up. Now phase 5 golden pocket in play. It is flagging out here. I think I would watch for, and let's go throw some of the chart prime indicators on just to see what we're seeing here on this 15-minute, because I had to do it this low, guys, because of what we're seeing on the price action. I can't keep up with what it's doing. So looking here, I'm not seeing any liquidity. Maybe let's throw some predictive ranges on here that might give us a little more insight to what we're seeing. Yeah, there's that way down there. Okay, yeah, let's go and look at predictive ranges and see if we can get some predictive ranges to give us some levels in the local here. There we go. Predictive ranges. What do you got for me? Chart prime. Show me the money. Show me the money. We are at the delta, guys. I think, look, we tend to trade right here. You can see all of the rejection below this gold line here. Let me look. Come on. Come on. Come on. Work with me. There's a gold line here, and I'm not talking about the fib here. I'm talking about this gold line here. This is your trade range where most of the price action occurs on predictive ranges on the Dynamics Pro. Right now, we're fighting with the delta. I think that if we get above this delta, guys, right here at about $1.67, I think that this comes up, breaks the phase 6, and we go all the way up to the top gold band here, because this is where about 70% of price action occurs. I do think that heading to $1.91, very, very possible on PNUT OC. Let's kick it over to you and see if you found anything on DEGEN.
Absolutely. So DEGEN, they're having the same movement as everybody else, right? I mean, that pump, then we're breaking through that possible flag, possible continuation. Still not sure why, because yes, come on. Yes, we could be breaking this itty bitty tiny trend, but we haven't taken previous highs. Also, we're still within the red. We don't have flip of the ribbon just yet, but we do have pump and we're pretty bullish. All right. So possible continuation. Yeah, could be. I would still wait for that slight flip of the ribbon. I don't think that we're going to have a very sharp flip of the ribbon like in this case. I think it's going to be more like this flattish, right? So just be careful with that one. You can be left out on that one. But for now, let's go to daily, because I see more important areas right down here. And I think it's worth to take a look at it. Why? Because we do have enough, surprisingly, we do have enough history for this one. Well, then, seems like not for daily, but whatever. Let's just bring this up here. Let's do some horizontal lines pretty clearly here. This one right down here, and also this one at the top in here, right? Remember, I'm talking about these lows and this triple high, right? At this point, this is going to be our ranging zone. So just be careful, because we are almost right there. What we want to see, it is one of those flip of the ribbons, also maybe a reversal, do a little bit slight movement to the downside, and then pop back up, right? That would be your entry, as we also have flip of the ribbon in here. Let me go back to the 4 hour and start adding my indicators, because I want a little bit more information on it. So let's see, support and resistance as well. Too far back down to have that history. So guys, if you ever found yourself not having daily, or just price action is just way back down there, remember that you can double click in here and adjust it. That's why you have multi-time frame support and resistance, right? And then you can change it daily, local, or daily midterm, or maybe you can even increase your current support and resistance to extended mode. I'm not going to be doing that, because I already have one of those that we are bouncing from, and the rest of it, it's just basically free space or empty space. Let's go for the predictive ranges. This is one of my favorite tools in here. So look at how precise we're bouncing from this area right here. That's the one I want to come back and reject from before going to the golden line in here, having some support for further continuation, right? So look at this golden line and also wait for that flip of the ribbon. I think that's going to be a killer combo, maybe 1 or 2 candles on the 4 hour. So 16 hour stops before we realize if we're going to continue to the upside, or we're going to be ranging for a little bit in here. So entry points in here at 0.018, as we have flipped the ribbon and having a bounce on the golden area here. If not, next possible entry for long on the blue predictive range at 0.015, also with the flip of the ribbon. Other than that, I will just not be trading DEGEN because its name, tells you what kind of like trades you could be expecting out of this one. So be
Yeah,
patient in that
absolutely.
one. And yeah.
That's one of those. It's a risk to reward, right? So I mean, it is in price discovery, which means it can go parabolically much higher. But just be careful how much you're putting into it. It's a simple matter of risk to reward, right? So if you have a higher projection of the reward, you don't have to put as much risk into it to make a lot of money, and that's how you manage that. So shout out to Marky Mark and the Funky Dutch in the house with us. He said. I've never dated an Alexandra Dutch before, but who knows? Bitcoin is unpredictable. Dutch, if you stop wearing the clogs, stop wearing the clogs, and you'll fix that issue. You can have whoever you want. I promise. Shout out to DB Cooper too. He said great show. Love to get my morning crypto investing info from the show, guys. When do we get out? Everyone's making money right now, right? Question is what indicators can we watch on when to start getting out? I already showed you one that I set an alert on, the Mayer indicator, the AKA the Buffett indicator. That is a Buffett secret. I'm going to be watching that one close, and I'll be putting that one out in our group. Yeah. So Jess said he put in 6. I'm not sure what that currency is. Sorry, Jesse. But he put in 6. I put in 6 and now it's on 59. So I'm guessing he bought it at 6. I'm not sure. But congratulations to Jesse. He's obviously made some good money over there. Damn, my clogs are my trademark. I'm sorry, Mark Dutch. I'm sorry. That's the problem. It's the clogs. Let's go jump over here. Let's talk about these 2 things that you need to watch. On the stock side, guys, there's an indication here. This is from CNBC Pro. It's part of my Pro subscription. To get this article was behind a paywall, but I bring it to you guys because that's what I do. When will Trump-fueled bull market approach the bubble territory? Watch this indicator. So for on the stock side, guys, because, if the markets are pulling back on stocks, that obviously they're going to pull back on a lot of other things to include crypto. And so I apologize about the bright white light that's blinding everyone right now, but let's look at this and talk about it. It's the CBOE volatility index under the ticker, the VIX, right? It helps traders track when the market rally is actually unhealthy, said Data Trek co-founder Nicholas Colas. Though the street's so-called measure of fear is in a favorable spot right now, it's worth watching if the market upswing, which began after Donald Trump won the U.S. presidential election, continues. Monday's close for the VIX around 15 is a healthy sign for the temperature of the market as it advances. For reference, all 3 major stock indexes finished at an all-time high closing. And you guys can go down here. I got this set on the 5-year trend. You can see we're sitting quite low here, down at 14.6 now. VIX is continuing to gauge lower as the markets are going up, and that is a healthy build for the stock market. To put it succinctly, rallies built on an elevated VIX signals a bubble. We're not elevated. The markets are building on a deflated VIX right now. This is a good sign. One of those things that you need to watch. The other one, the Pi Cycle Top Indicator. You guys know about this. You hear it in space all the time, but this is something that I come and I look at every day, watching for the signal line over here. If I bring this in, you'll see the yellow line, orange line here, and the green line not crossing yet. When they typically cross, that is when we get that cycle indication that we could be getting the top indicator, because historically, when they have crossed, is when we have seen. Can you open up for me, please? Load it. That would be great. Load that, please. When they cross those 2 lines, that typically has been a top side indicator on the markets. It's not opening for me, but that's something that I look at every day. So for crypto, look at the Pi Cycle Top. There it goes. Thank you. Cross there near the top. Cross there near the top. So when this gets close to crossing, I'll be letting you guys know that also. But as of right now, the stock market indicator, the VIX, looking quite healthy. Pi Cycle indicator, big gap in between. One last thing that I do want to pull up here before we head out over to the Randy Hipper house, guys. We are touching $92,000 Bitcoin right now. Let's go. Cha-ching. Get the air horn. Can I get a boom shaka-laka? Guys, we are doing it. Bitcoin continuing to move up. Watch that $100,000 level. Guys, that is about all we have time for today. But If you guys haven't done so, I'll go ahead and shorten this up for OC. Guys, smash that like button right there. It helps out the channel. It helps out the algo. And it lets people know that you enjoy the content that we put out here. Someone said one day we'll have 1,000 viewers. Man, I don't care if we have 1,000 viewers or the 50 that are in the house right now. We're going to continue to bring you guys this information every single Monday through Friday so that you guys can have that knowledge, because at the Piper Academy, knowledge is profit. OC, thank you for being on today. What do you got for the people? Send them your love right there, out there to the community, to the alumni. What do you got for them?
Absolutely, guys. Thanks so much for joining today. Quick reminder to smash that like button. Today is going to be keeping it short. That helps us a lot with the algorithm. So please, if you are having if you can see that we are putting out there good information, if you like this content, please click that like button and also share this with a friend. If it's good information, share it with your friends. And if you think it's a bad information, share it with your enemies. Regardless, just share it.
Sure. Sharing is caring. That's right. That is all we have time for. We're about to go over and raid Randy Hipper's house, the frat house, and drop some graduation caps over there, guys. We appreciate you all joining us here today on Piper Academy. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. Tomorrow morning, just so you know, on the economic calendar, we have PPI data coming out an hour before the live stream. Be watching on X. Follow me on X so that you can get those numbers and know how those markets are playing out. I put them out on X this morning and said, send it. The market numbers just came in neutral. Send it. And that's what we have done ever since then. So make sure you're following us on X. All of us, all of our socials are down below in the description, guys. Let's go head over to the frat house. Ask our frat mom, where's our attendees? Guys, we'll be back here tomorrow morning. Until then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Train flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude!